Hi, and welcome to On a Mission, where we highlight those in our community that are really doing great work for the kingdom. I'm James Fenimore, and joining me today, we have a very special guest, Jasmine Gordon. Jasmine, how are you?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. Now, you do some amazing work, and I really want to highlight it right out of the gate. So talk to me about your work with women and the name of the company and what you're doing with them.
So, I am the CEO of Daughters Unleashed LLC, and I help women understand their spiritual authority in Jesus Christ to build the mission that He's given inside of their heart and use that to support themselves and to take the mission, the Missio Dei, which is the Great Commission of the Gospel to the nations.
All about the Great Commission.
Yes.
So for some of our viewers out there, they may not understand spiritual authority. Can you speak to that a little bit?
So our spiritual authority we got from Jesus Christ. He gave it to us in Matthew 28 when He told us to go into all the nations and make disciples. And then we're supposed to in turn share the gospel again. So, but your spiritual authority comes from Jesus Christ, and we are to be mighty women to share the gospel of Jesus Christ around the world into all the four corners.
Amazing. And now, when you work with these women, do you find that they're just already believers? Maybe they're in a life transition, or who do you really see that comes and seeks out your work?
So, a lot of my women, they are going through a life change, whether that be, unfortunately, a divorce, or they're losing a job, and they lost who they were. So they're more, and that can happen at any age. I don't want to put a number on it, but they're like, I don't know what my purpose is. Find their purpose and what they're good at, what gifts that God give them. And then we take those gifts and we figure out, okay, let's use what's in your house. I often use the story with my ladies of the widow when she was with Elijah and she was about to lose the slavery. And Elijah's like, what do you have in your house? And at first she's like, I don't have anything in my house. And then she stops and she pauses and she's like, wait, I have this little bit of oil. He's like, go get it. And then God multiplied it. So the gifts that are inside these women are already there. And we take those, whether that's they can paint a picture, whether that's they can bake very well. I'm a teacher, so I love teaching. Like whatever your gift is, we can find something and turn it into Proverbs 31. And then let's support your family, because we know that we have to support ourselves. And Paul was a tent maker, so we can tent make and go share the gospel just like Paul did.
I love that. So you're basically combining like the worldly work with the godly work.
Absolutely. I believe that the next great revival is going to happen in the workplace.
We're there more than we're at home, so it better happen.
Absolutely.
I'm a big thing. I wear this bracelet about his business, and it reminds me that no matter where I am, I have to do his business, even if I'm standing on my business, whatever little business that is. But the workplace is such a great mission field. And I think we forget that sometimes. We think of, I got to go to Costa Rica or Africa or South America. But what about the person that sits to your left or your right at the workspace? And
absolutely.
So I love that you're doing that for these women. That's really incredible. So a lot of women in transition, and you're giving them purpose. Now, I know you said you sit with them and identify their purpose based on maybe some of the things that they like to do. What if you get one of those women, I don't know, I just don't know it all, and they're really struggling to find that? Because I know we have people like that in our audience.
Absolutely. And I do have a lot of women that come to me like that, and they're like, I'm lost. I have been a wife for 20 years, and now I'm not a wife anymore. Or I've been a mom, and they're all out of the house. So we sit down and we go through my framework, and we go back to the basics, and we find out, let's tell your story. Let's see what patterns show up. And we have that conversation. We have a clarity call, and we go from there.
That's incredible. I know, as a business owner myself, I hear about like a mom, an empty nester. And the first thing I hear is you handled schedules, you handled logistics, you handled so much in that household for so many years. You'd be great in an office. We just need to give you the different tools to use now. Right. So I really just want to tell you how much I respect what you're doing, because I know there's a lot of I don't know what it is. Like they don't realize how much work that is. Oh no, it's just what I do as a mom, right?
Right.
And it's like, no, you're the head of the household. You're rocking it, and that can be translated to a lot of different things. It almost reminds me of military personnel that come home and are like, I don't know what I could do. It's like, well, you handled all this already. There's a lot of synergy there, which I love. I also know you mentioned that you're a teacher.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us about that a little bit?
So I am actually an ESOL teacher. So I teach people from different countries how to come to the United States and speak English. It's one of my greatest passions. I love to teach, like just anything. Yes, my absolute passion is Jesus Christ, but to be able to have these students who come and they don't know where they fit in, and then they're like, I don't speak the language. Well, okay, I didn't speak your language before. I'm speaking your language pretty much how you want me to. They're like, yeah. I'm like, you can do that in English. Let's do it. And just to see their lights when they finally get it is amazing.
It's really amazing, Jasmine, because you have these two passions, and they're both just kind of integrating people into a new society. Whether it's somebody that's been out of the workforce forever or hasn't, spread the gospel, or these young kids that are just trying to communicate better with us. And I just, my hat's off to you, and I really want to just thank you for all the work you're doing on behalf of His kingdom and the benefits that we're all receiving from it. So thank you so much for joining me today, Jasmine.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Oh, absolutely. This has been Jasmine. For Jasmine Gordon, I'm James Fenimore. This has been On a Mission. If you want to find anything out about Jasmine, it's going to be right below this video. And especially for you ladies out there that are looking to, do some kingdom work, Jasmine's where you're going to want to be. For On a Mission, I'm James Fenimore. Can't wait to see you next time.